Let's be silent and listen. People sometimes say things they shouldn't. As a result, work and relationships become more complicated. Once you speak, whether you like it or not, big and small consequences follow. If the words contain any important secrets, the consequences are even more dire. The human mouth is too light to keep secrets safe. Once I tell a secret, it is no longer a secret. It's a secret only if it stays deep in my mouth. The secret that came out of my mouth is because no one will keep it. On the other hand, there are times when the other person already knows the content and intention of my words before I even speak. You may have guessed it by combining the information you got from people around you, or the media, and the context behind it. If you try to keep saying the obvious in a situation like this, you might see the expression on the other person's annoyed face. So, don't be indiscriminate in saying things that may not mean anything to the other person. Also, it is better to be silent than to say something that will lead to bad results. But most people prefer to talk than to be silent. Of course, not everyone can do it easily just because they want to be silent. The more you know and experience, the more difficult it is to control your words. Once you start talking, it is not easy to stop or reduce the content in the middle. No matter how much you decide to be silent and try, you often find yourself saying nothing at any moment. Now let's connect silence with everything and I are one. If everything is one, what is the need to compare and evaluate an imperfect and clumsy words? If you talk to yourself, it's easy to be silent because you know yourself so well. You can remain silent in the belief that the part you do not understand during the conversation must have been so. In addition, since everything is one, all information is ultimately shared. Although there may be some time lag depending on each role. It's just that I'm immersed in the role that I've been assigned now, and even if I tell you more about it, I don't know or I forgot what I knew. Therefore, no matter what I say to the other person, they may not have the heart to listen from the beginning. Or even if they do, they may not understand. Of course, if you open your heart and listen, you will understand everything. Therefore, let's not make our relationship awkward by saying things when the other person isn't ready to listen. It would be better to keep silent until the other person is ready to listen. And observe all the other person's words, facial expressions, and actions. If you are silent, distracted thoughts are organized and clear at a glance. If you start with silence that stops unnecessary words and properly manage all your thoughts, the world will look a little clearer. Appropriate silence opens the door to the heart and helps us to see, hear and feel the diverse and important messages of Mother Nature. The words of the other person are the sound of the first cause. Who is one with me? This is because not only human speech, but also the rustling of leaves, the cry of animals, the sound of streams, the sound of wind, the sound of thunder, and so on, are all the sounds produced by the first cause, who is one with me. All messages are messages sent to me by my many alter egos. Most of these messages come as a combination of thoughts, words, and actions. Heaven and earth, rivers and seas, earth and sun, stars and galaxies do not use human words. We can only infer their thoughts and words from their movements, shapes, sounds, tastes, colors, and smells. Concentrating on that message is like concentrating on the message of the first cause. Evaporation of water from seawater produces hexagonal salt crystals. When you are silent, complex, twisted thoughts settle into place and a pure crystal is formed. If you control your words, the various delusions derived from words will decrease, and your thoughts will become clear. Thoughts matured in long silence resonate loudly and last a long time, even if spoken in small ways. These words facilitate communication with everything. It also enables rational and wise judgment and action. Regardless of age or gender, most people prefer to talk rather than listen. When loneliness and stress build up, or when you want to share sadness or joy, you become more talkative. Also, they want to take the initiative in conversation, and only say their own words. And I hope that the other person will sympathize with my words. With an open mind. In conversation, there are many cases where I only talk about my story. And the other person only talks about the other person. Sometimes they talk about things that have nothing to do with the topic. Anyone can see that they are sitting face to face and having a natural conversation. However, the content is far from communication or empathy. When a topic comes up that you know even a little about, you talk with enthusiasm. Conversations often run parallel lines from the beginning. However, once you reduce your words appropriately, you will naturally listen. And at some point, you can even hear the sound that echoes from inside the other person. No message is more important or less important. What is precious and splendid is important. And what is low and simple is not less important. The messages of those with power are heavy. And the messages of children are not light. Of all the messages, there is not a single one that does not come from the first cause. Therefore, all messages are equally valuable. You have to respect every message as you respect me. They want to tell the story of every place, every time, and every experience in the universe. Through them, I communicate with everything, including the universe, share information, and finally become one. So let them talk freely. Ask with active interest and listen with a pricked ear. The conversation partner here is not just a person. The stream by the stream babbles and the little bird sings. The gentle wind speaks, and the stones on the roadside also talk. I must not forget that everyone who talks to me is originally my alter ego. And I have to listen not only to the voices of nature and people, but also to the sound of my body. My body is overworked and complains of pain, but if I leave it alone, I get a serious illness. If you listen to what your body says in advance, you can live a healthier and happier life. Like this, you have to listen carefully to the sound of everything. Going one step further, you must pay close attention to and listen to the message of the first cause, which can be known through all channels, such as eyes, nose, tongue, touch, and feeling. My opponent is faithfully fulfilling his role in this world. They are immersed in their role every moment. Like a lead actor in a play, he is acting properly here and now. Let them do their part to the fullest. Therefore, when you are in front of them, you should listen with appropriate silence. Let's take a step back and listen, and wait for the time when my words are absolutely necessary. At that time, how would you like to say a well-ripened word, holding it deep in your heart? As if you were handing a cup of fragrant liquor that has been aged with care for a long time to an old friend? Thank you very much for watching this video.